HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast, Episode 52, Illinois Postgame.
Hoops on Lane Fan Podcast is sponsored by About Face Cosmetic Therapy Center, because basketball season is also laser hair removal season.
You're listening to Hoops on Lane, a fan-produced pregame and postgame podcast about the Ohio State University men's basketball team. Visit hoopsonlane.com or subscribe where you listen to podcasts for all the latest episodes and information. Now here's your host, Dave Horning.
Greetings, Hoops fans. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast with a postgame review of the victory by the Ohio State Buckeyes over the Illinois Fighting Illini. The Buckeyes winning by the score of 75-67 in front of a home crowd at the Schottenstein Center, which totaled 18,743. Way to go, Buckeyes, and way to go, Hoops fans. Let's fill up the shot. But it was a lot closer game than the score indicates. As was discussed on the pregame podcast, this Illinois team is better than their record. They have lost 3 games that went into overtime in the Big Ten, so the record should be a lot better than it is. If this team makes the NIT tournament, watch out. I do not want to have to play them again in the Big Ten tournament. Illinois had won their last 2 games, and so they came to Columbus with a high level of confidence and were ready to play at the start. Plus, they had a boost with Tejon Lucas recently being removed from his suspension and rejoining the team, while the Ohio State Buckeyes were knocked off balance with the surprise announcement on Sunday morning that senior guard Cam Williams was indefinitely suspended for undisclosed violation of team rules. In his place, Ohio State started Andre Wesson, and he responded by scoring the first basket of the game on a monster slam dunk. But Illinois had a hot hand early and built leads of 8-4, 19-13, and then, with 10 minutes left in the first half, a 30-15 lead. The large Buckeyes crowd was getting restless. Illinois was playing aggressive defense against the Buckeye guards and forcing turnovers. The Illinois defense against our guards was strong but not physical. It was fair and solid defense that caught the Buckeyes guards unprepared and forced many turnovers in the first half. Down 15-13 with 10 minutes left in the first half, Ohio State's Jayshawn Tate started a comeback with a layup and was joined by a Keita Bates-Diop dunk to cut the lead to 30-19. Ohio State was not hitting its three-point shots, but the Buckeyes were scoring down low in the paint. Keita Bates-Diop did not let his three-point shooting affect his game down low, and he consistently looked to score in the paint. He led the Buckeyes with 35 points and 13 rebounds. He was only 2 of 7 on his three-point shots, but he was 8 of 9 on his two-point attempts and 13 of 15 on his free throws. His 35 points resulted in him being named the Big Ten Player of the Week again for the 4th time this season. By the end of the first half, the Buckeyes were on a 19-0 run and led by the score of 34-30 at halftime. The Buckeyes had held Illinois scoreless in the last 10 minutes of the first half. 3 minutes into the second half, Illinois had tied the score at 35, and the game was close the rest of the way. It was a great and exciting basketball game, and the crowd was into it. Towards the middle of the second half, Illinois, the team that went cold in the first half, suddenly couldn't miss. They built a lead of 4 points 3 times in the second half, in part because of a technical foul that was called on Jayshawn Tate when he had the ball down under our basket and the play was getting physical. This was a bad technical foul to take because it resulted in a turnover, free throws for Illinois, and then Illinois got the ball. It was a terrible call by the refs who were letting the play underneath get too physical. Illinois was playing strong defense on our guards, but underneath, especially in the second half, they started playing, quote, basketball, unquote. And when Jayshawn Tate reacted to the unnecessary physical play, it was Jayshawn Tate who was called for the technical. Bad officiating. This happened at the 8-minute mark. Shortly after that, Keita Bates-Diop made his second three-point shot and brought the Buckeyes back into a 63-63 tie with 5 minutes left in the game. After Keita's three-pointer, Ohio State finally got the defensive stop it needed, and a basket down low by Caleb Wesson gave the Buckeyes the lead at 65-63. Ohio State would not give it up. By this point in the game, the Illinois defense went from strong and fair to physical and ugly. C.J. Jackson was brutally fouled, and a foul was called, but it should have been a flagrant foul, Category 1. C.J. made his second free throw to put Ohio State up 66-63. After another key stop on defense, Andrew Dockich made a nice layup to build the lead to 5. Earlier in the game, Dockich appeared to be regaining his shooting touch, and now he was looking to score. Illinois would only score 4 points in the final 5 minutes, and the Buckeyes built an 8-point margin of victory. But the game was a lot closer than that final score appears. Finally, a word must be said about the great crowd that showed up for this game. 18,743. the largest of the season, even beating the Michigan State game crowd. Way to go, Columbus. This is a great Buckeye team that deserves our support. There are only 2 games left, so let's fill up the shot. And thanks to Kroger for promoting this Ohio State basketball team. They are having a fill up the shot promotion in support of this team, and I am glad to see it. There are only 2 more home games left this year, so come out and see the Buckeyes and Kata Bates-Diop play. You won't be disappointed. This is Dave Horning for HoopsOnLane.com Fan Podcast. Go Bucks!